for today's cup of coffee with Scream. Yeah, it's one of those. It's coffee slurp incoming. I'm glad my order of more rain arrived. Oh God,
isn't it just lovely? We've had the majority of spring be rain.
and cold and dreary and gray and no signs of stopping. We actually may get a break for 2 or 3 days and then it'll start again.
No joke. In total, I think the days of sunshine that we've had this whole spring so far has been about maybe a month.
Yes, but you got to realize that during the month
total
of January, we got out of the house 3 times. The whole month, 3 times because we were snowed in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, at least we can, if we have to, get off the hill. If we have to. But it's just the rain and the gray and the cold, and it's just like, it wears on you. It wears on your spirit after a while.
It does.
And I will tell you something, and I'm going to admit defeat. Total, complete defeat. I was defeated by the Mark T. Hurt commercial. Who is
Hurt? Call Hurt.
Yeah, Mark T. Hurt. I needed my benefits. I couldn't work. I called Mark T. Hurt. And
William
we
Shatner.
have heard that for so many months. And my God, I finally bit the bullet and got YouTube Premium.
You did, but you gotta admit, it has been a lot more enjoyable.
I was beaten into submission. That's it. I own it. I admit defeat.
If only ad block was a thing on the Roku's. If only.
Well, and they've got it now with YouTube where it is you're going against terms of service if you use an ad blocker.
Nah. Well, I would like them to try to detect Brave's ad blocker because I don't even get their warnings.
Yeah. Remember that. We ain't going to say it much more. Go back and repeat that and a couple times. Hit that.
Brave is a really good web browser.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard some of the other ones but you got to realize I use my laptop. I'm not one of the cell phone peoples other than playing Match 3 games on them.
Where do you think I use that browser?
You use that on your laptop?
I use it on my desktop.
Okay.
I don't have that installed on my phone.
Okay.
I mean, I could, but nah, I'm not going to do that.
I just, there are so many people that's all they use is their cell phone. I can't imagine.
See, I'm trying to distance myself from the phone.
Right. But it's like I use the laptop. A lot of it is because I like to actually be able to see what I'm watching.
Yeah.
And then we have the Roku. That's what we don't have other like TV. But let's face it, YouTube Premium and some of these other things, and you've got Tubi and all these others. That is the new cable.
Yeah.
Cut the cord, they said. We should have known that was a lie.
Yeah.
But yes, I admit defeat. And it's really sad because I have been bullied into submission. Because they had absolutely ramped up the number of ads. You would start to watch something and within 1 minute, that was when the ad rolls. And it got to where you could not skip the ad rolls.
You've never watched any of Trisha Paytas's videos unless I showed you. But some of her videos, no joke, she put those ads in there every 3 minutes. No joke. Probably every 3 to 5 minutes, there was an ad break.
It's punishing the viewers.
Yeah. Although, I ain't gonna bitch about it too much because YouTube Music, I'm down with that. I do like it.
That is the thing that I'm going to explore, here over the weekend. Because Kid and I, back in the day, I would load that sucker up with It was a playlist, just
Yeah.
a video playlist. And we would sit here for hours and just enjoy ourselves and discuss things and just be. But with the damn ads, you couldn't do that.
No, you couldn't.
It just broke the continuity of it. And that was one of the things that, as far as radio, when it got so absolutely stupid with ads, when you had like 10 minutes of programming and then you had a 15-minute ad break or something like that, nobody's going to sit through that.
No. Literally, if there's an ad break, I literally go through and see if I can find another radio station if I'm listening to the radio.
Exactly.
I try to find another radio station that is playing good music that does not have ads at that moment.
Well, that was the reason as
And then
far
I'll wait.
as when you had, I was trying to remember if it was Sirius or which one it was, some of the first satellite subscription radio. And that people, they flocked to it.
Sirius was good. Sirius was good. I don't know if it's still a thing.
I don't know whether it is either, but it's like, that's really sad, and it doesn't help the advertisers any. They need to find another way as far as letting people know about their products and stuff. I get it. You've got to advertise your product, but make the ads good,
Like how
not
they used to be.
annoying. Yes, creative. Back in the day when they had one of the most successful ad campaigns was for the California Raisins.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
claymation singing raisins. Everyone loved those. You didn't want to skip that ad.
Or the McDonald's Moon, like, midnight special dude.
Yes, that was, he was cool. The Airheads commercials are some that they're
And
just
the
so
Skittles.
bizarre. Yeah, the Skittle ones are odd also, that
Yeah.
you're sitting there going, this is way cool.
Uh-huh. It's like watching Adult Swim bumpers or shows. Love stuff like that.
But even then, after you've seen it 15,000 times, you're worn out with it.
Well, you know what? There's honestly some ads that I don't get annoyed by.
Which ones?
Like some of those classic. I will literally go back and watch those ads again from the early 2000s and 90s and 80s and stuff like that.
Yeah, but during that period of time, you're sitting there going, oh my God, I have heard this so much. It's just like, no.
I still got the Stanley Steamers theme and O'Reilly.
The jingles back in the day of early radio and stuff like that, that was one of the coolest things when you had a jingle that people would just, that you had the earworm going through. Oscar Mayer Wiener. That or that my baloney has a first name. It's OSCAR. My baloney has a second name. It's MAYER. I mean, lots of things that are in our culture that could be in our culture today, but people don't have the same creativity.
And Toys R Us was a thing. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
Yeah. But and there has to be, there's a saturation point. Mark T. hurt, honey. You absolutely have hurt me. I need compensation because you have cost me money.
Yes, but honestly, I'm going to put the fault on William Shatner. He needs those checks.
God love him. He's in his 90s. Well, I mean, he does a good job at what he does. And it's not necessarily the ad itself. It's that it's just overplayed. The frequency of it is, you feel like you're being bludgeoned. And I guess in some ways you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Got hurt? Call her.
Oh,
Got
my
hurt?
God.
Call her. What was that? It was that for
Which?
that roll-on balm that was like, roll on, apply directly to the forehead. Roll on.
Yes.
Apply directly to the forehead. Roll on, apply directly to the forehead. And I'm like, are
Yeah.
you good?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And what
But
that
it was
is,
amusing.
it's
But
brainwashing.
it's brain
It
rot.
is that repetition. It's a form of brainwashing.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate that. I didn't sign up for that. I didn't agree to that. But it's like, okay, if you want to use our service, this is the price you have to pay. This is the pound of flesh. How many pounds of flesh? So I had had enough and I capitulated. I admit my defeat. I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one. Honestly, like, if I had the money, I would have already been subscribed to YouTube Premium a long time ago. Just for, I've not ragged on. I have said a lot of good things about it, a lot, because I do really enjoy their own music app, because there's a lot of stuff I can find on YouTube that is not available on Spotify.
Right.
Or at least not easily.
Well, I know that, was it Nina Hagen?
Yeah, I can listen to her whole Ballroom Revolution album on YouTube if I wanted to,
Right.
versus Spotify, it's region locked. There's a lot of stuff on that is region locked on Spotify that I recently, like months ago, put on a playlist because I made a version of the music to cleanse your brain to.
Right.
I made a playlist called Brain Soap, and a majority of the songs got region locked.
Spotify, do better. Why? I do not understand that. To sit there and go, you live in this country, you can't have this.
There's a lot of stuff. Like, I remember that at one point there was stuff on YouTube that I could not watch because it was region locked. Like that one that did it was with Hillbilly Moon Explosion. She was the blonde French singer, kind of older, like in her 50s or whatever.
I don't know, but
I could show you. But, I wanted to listen to some of her music. Fucking region locked too.
why
Region
would
locked to France.
anybody do that?
Ask the country's governments and stuff like that. Like, there's something.
France has got a whole lot more problems than and this is historical.
That's like there's stuff from England that I can't listen to. The stuff from yeah. There's stuff from hell, Russia, Estonia,
Yeah.
Scotland, all sorts of places.
Yeah.
Like, literally, there's Chinese music, there's Japanese. Do you know how much Japanese music I have missed out on because it's region locked?
I don't understand that. Like I said, especially with the Japanese. Why? It hurts the artist. Because when you can have a worldwide market, why would you not want that?
I don't know.
I think that's very bizarre.
Yeah.
To sit there and go, you can't watch this because you don't live here. You're not one of us.
Well, that's like there's certain ads that are region locked too now because of the fucking SJWs.
Mm-hmm.
The woke crowd.
I tell you something, they have done so much damage. And at a certain point, people like that, when the chickens come home to roost, and they truly understand that they were on the wrong side and the damage and harm that they have done to so many people, that's when you're going to have weeping and wailing and gnashing of teeth. And for some of these people and the decisions that they've made, especially for their children, they will be brain broken. There's no way. And they'll always be in denial because they can't face that they were a part of that.
Well, the thing is, some of them are already getting what they sowed. They're reaping what they sowed, and then they're bitching about it.
Well.
They're already bitching about it. Like, they complained because that one noodle ad got region locked after they complained about it. And it's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Right. But they don't understand
have it
that.
both ways.
They don't understand that. And that was just like somebody over on X, I can't remember what I had commented, as far as that we have, free will, that it is a matter of personal responsibility and accountability. Mm-hmm. And so he had come at me with this meme of Robert Saplonsky, whom I'm quite familiar with. He did an excellent lecture on Toxoplasma gondii. And I told him, I said, of course Saplonsky is going to say that. He and most of academia are atheists because they do not want to, they don't like the thought that what they do does matter and they'll be held accountable for it. Mm-hmm. That is the perfect excuse for somebody to be hedonistic and selfish.
Yeah. What was that professor? I know his name, but it's just not coming to mind.
Peterson?
Peterson got lambasted by not lambasted.
No, he had his ass handed to him by a Gen Z.
Yeah. Fully.
Flat out. Yeah. It's like this. And I had told Kid, I said, if dude wants to get too deep into as far as Christian apologetics, which that does not mean apologizing for the faith. It is a matter of why we believe what we believe. And there are people that are really, really good at explaining things. That's not one of my strong points, is that. I can tell you why I believe what I believe and who was there for me. Mm-hmm. That's what I share. But I told youngest Kid, I thought, if I get too deep in the weeds with dude, I'll holler at your brother and have him step in. And then the thought came to me, and it's like, no, I need to learn to fight this battle myself.
Well,
I don't like to debate. I was not on a debate team.
No, but you could always ask him and be like, hey, like, can you give me, like, tips on this? Help me, like, what?
You know what he would tell me? Google search. I can't quote Thomas Aquinas.
No, it's like, help me combat this. That's what I do to him.
Mm-hmm. And if it got to that point, I'm not going to waste my time.
Like, I have no shame in my game. I will fully ask him, hey, help me combat this.
Yeah.
You got more knowledge than me. Help me.
He has had many years to sit there and deeply research many, many things.
Yeah.
And then there's me and youngest Kid, and we'd be podlings.
I have wasted a lot of my years on watching fuckery because I would rather be happy than be bogged down.
Well, it's just different callings.
Well, it's not. I won't even say like be bogged down. I struggle with learning stuff, and if I am not interested in it fully, like if certain things just flat out they don't.
It's okay.
It does not work for me if I try to study it. No matter how much I try to study it, my focus will not. Nope.
Yes, because that's just human. Not everybody is designed to do everything.
Well, that goes into the religious studies too. It's like even that. I'm like, nope, can't do it.
It doesn't have to. You don't have to do that. You do not have to be a scholar. It's pretty basic. You know?
I'm talking about even as far as reading the Bible or studying the Bible. It's like, yeah, I'm trying.
Michael Heiser. I've told you, Michael Heiser.
Yeah, he's been on my mind lately. I need to do that.
I never did get an email back from his producer. I'd like to think that I would at some point, that maybe get another copy, somebody else to do the voiceover on his fiction books. Yeah. So, but this weekend, and it was a 30-day free trial on the premium services, but I'll tell you, so far, it's pretty sweet. I mean, it really is.
See?
Admit defeat.
It is. How much was it for the family
For both
bundle?
of us, for the family bundle, it's like $23 a month. Yeah.
See,
Yeah. You can add up to 5 family members, but they all have to be in the same household.
I think there's a workaround on that. There has to be a workaround.
Well, I mean,
because they can't prove nothing.
I won't do it. I won't do it because of who I am. To me, that's unethical.
It's a big ass company that does not have
It doesn't
ethics.
matter. It doesn't matter. And even as far as one of these pirating music back in the day, was it Napster or whatever?
Napster, Pirate
I didn't do
Bay.
it. I didn't do it. LimeWire, I think, was the one that I used where people uploaded the stuff. A lot of times it was artists before they were, famous.
Listen, I have no problem sailing the seven seas. I have no problems with that, especially if it is not available. If it's not available on any modern console, and if it's way too expensive to buy on eBay, I will gladly
I'm
sell
not
the
saying
seven seas.
that's somebody else's. That's between them and God. I'm just saying if it was me. But as far as me working ways around things, no. And people's like, oh, you an idiot. Because you don't know, because I'm honest.
I'm being honest. I'm fully saying what I do.
Oh.
How is it?
No, I just, it's just me. I truly do try to live by what I believe in. He's over there going, oh, she convicted me. I did.
Oh,
not.
no, I'm like, okay, so they're allowed to steal from us, but we can't.
Yes, because two wrongs do not make, it says, return good for evil. Pray for those who despitefully use you.
But if it is something considered abandonware at this point, how is that?
It's not. As far as the abandonware, that is something that's going to go into the dustbin and does not need to go into the dustbin. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's games from back in the day that is not available on any gaming service, any purchasing website. So it's like,
Right.
Why not?
That's just like, as far as, was it the Wayback Machine or whatever it was that Mutahar had talked about several months back, that they were getting rid of some of the archives, that they were purging some of the archives. That's not cool.
I don't think that they were purging it. I think that they had that big cyber attack, and so they lost a bunch of stuff.
This is why hard copies of things. But it's hard as far as if it's a video or, an audio file or anything like that. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It's hard.
I don't see how they didn't have it backed up in like some servers that were inaccessible,
Mm-hmm.
that were just plugged offline.
I don't know that there's anything that's not inaccessible other than the Vatican archives. Maybe the Smithsonian.
Well, the thing is, if you took your hard drive out of your computer, nobody can access it.
Yeah.
Unless you plug it back into your computer.
But anyhow. Oh, and something else that you all can partake of. AJ on Joe Rogan, that is available on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And it's pretty cool. I watched part of it, and then, the napping. The rain, the gray, the cold. It makes for just lots of fatigue. That's what it makes for. But, yeah, I admit defeat. I was hurt by Mark T. Hurt. That was it. And after a couple of years, it's not a new commercial.
It's been going on for a while.
Yeah. Well, he's an attorney, so there you go. Everybody's
Call her. Mark T. Hurt.
I couldn't work. I needed my paycheck.
Well, and I cannot remember William Shatner's lines.
I do. It's got hurt. Call hurt. Mark T. Hurt.
But that's about it. I know he said other stuff, but I can't remember what the rest he fucking said. Got hurt? Call hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I mean, that actually is good marketing, but it was just overdone. Dude, buy a billboard, honestly. That's got to be a nationwide company is what it is.
Buy a billboard. Buy multiple billboards.
Everybody's having paranormal. Everybody having supernatural. And we can watch Gab Smulders play I'm on observation duty without the ads interrupting the game.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. Yeah.
Now you gave me an existential crisis with the sailing the seven seas.
Tell the pirates where we can be found.
You can find us on BitChute, Rumble, and YouTube at Rolanda's Cup of Coffee with Scream. I am not promoting piracy. I am not promoting sailing the seas. There's just some things that you can get on there that you can't anywhere else.
That's my problem with online anything, as far as it being out there in the cyber, to where when somebody gets pissy, they can flip a switch and it no longer is.
Find her on X, previously known as Twitter, at RelandisCOCWS. But yes, that is why. That is why I sail the seas. Because it's like, no joke. There's some actual physical games that I'm pretty sure that I've had, or I know other people have them, that came with the code or whatever, and they can't install it on the computer because they shut those access servers down. Verification servers.
That ain't cool.
They got a physical copy of a game, but they cannot play it because the servers is down to activate it.
Right. That ain't cool. Something else needs to be done about that. That's why people are going back to physical media.
That's what I'm saying. The physical media had a key code on it that was that you register it in.
So it wasn't really physical media. It was just an access code.
No, it had the actual game on the disc, but it would not allow you to play the game that is on the actual disc without sending the verification key to their servers.
In that case, hack away. Hack away.
Yeah.
The roots of corruption.
No joke. Like the original Sims 2 or the Sims 1, I can't play those copies, one, because they're not... with heavy modification, they would be playable on my PC,
right.
Modern PC. But as far as the activation codes to actually play them, nope, won't work.
See, something else does need to be done about that. Until they get all the bugs worked out of the cyber age, we need to stay in,
Yep.
Just the real world.
Yep.
Know that you are loved. Treat other people the way you would like to be treated.
Yeah.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Yeah.
Bye.
Ahoy.